his internet failed. So he disappeared. So we were in this meeting, it took us about 10 minutes to work out he wasn't there anymore. And so I said, oh, we'll just carry on.
Thank you everyone.
Because he was the host after 6 minutes.
We're going to kick off now. We're being recorded. Thank you. Good evening everybody. Welcome to the annual meeting of Wetmore Parish Council on Wednesday the 18th of May 2022. Just first I'd like to welcome Matt, one of our newly elected county councillors.
Hello.
Item number 1 on the agenda tonight is election of chair for the year 22-23. Do we have any takers? Have we got any candidates here?
Do we have a candidate?
Yes.
Yes.
We do have a nomination for chairman and vice chair.
Super. Who is the chairman?
We would like to nominate Babs as chair and Jackie as vice chair.
Okay, lovely. Right.
I'll second that.
We're going to get into a private
Before the room changes about.
Do you want to just do a show of hands?
Yeah. Oh,
So
okay.
all in favour of nominating Babs as
I'm
chairman?
not allowed to vote, am I?
No.
Okay. I think that was unanimous.
All in favour of voting Jackie in as vice?
Excellent. So,
So
we
unanimous.
declare that Babs Lloyd James is now the chairman. Would you like to take the seat?
I'd love to.
And Jackie Ford is the vice. Congratulations. And I shall see you every month as my role as a district councillor.
Maybe on Monday.
Maybe on Monday. See you on Monday.
Thanks, Polly.
Bye all. Bye.
Polly.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, so item number 3, to confirm delegation arrangements to committees and subcommittees and employees. So, the committees are cemetery, facilities, allotments and footpaths, highways, car park and brook, finance and general purposes, housing and planning. I believe we have nominations for chair. Should we go cemetery first? Cemetery first. Andy, we nominate you for chair of the cemetery committee. Yeah. All those in favour, please. Lovely. Regarding other members on cemetery committee, Isabel is also a member. Do we have any other members?
I'll do cemetery first.
Lovely, thank you. Anyone else? As a spare? No? Okay, I'll do that. Secondly, we've got facilities, allotments and footpaths. We have joint chairs, Judy and Sean. Are you both happy to continue with those posts?
Yes.
Lovely. Everyone in favour? Show of hands, please. Unanimous, lovely. We need, Jackie's also a member on the committee. Any other members happy to join? Please.
Come on, somebody.
I'll join because I've got a lot of them, so
I think that's good enough. Yes.
Okay. Finance and general purposes. As chair, I will become chair of the finance committee. We also have Alistair, Jackie and Isabel. I think that's okay for now. Everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to join? That was finance. Highways, car park and brook. Alistair, are you happy to stay as chair of that?
I am.
Lovely. Show of hands, please. Thank you. On there is Jackie, Judy and Isabel. Are you all happy to stay on there? Thank you very much. Housing. We're not having a chair as yet. We are sticking to Jackie, Judy and Isabel on there, and we will see how that goes. Is that everyone's understanding?
Yeah.
Planning. We have Isabel as chair of that. Are you happy to do that, Isabel?
Yep.
Lovely. Show of hands, please. Lovely, thank you. On there is also Judy, myself, and anyone else?
Yeah, would somebody else like to, James?
James?
Well, we will for now, but we'll go with this for now. And that's all the committee's done.
Footpaths and green issues.
That's a typo because we agreed that they would funnel through all of them, so it's just a typo there.
Footpaths are going back into
Footpaths are going back into facilities allotment.
Yes. Okay, so item number 4, to confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 20th of April. Has everybody read them? Does anybody have any comments? Are we happy to sign them? That's a true record. Thank you. Okay, to confirm the minutes of the planning meeting held. Has anyone got any comments on that? No? Lovely. Sign that one as well. Okay, item number 6. To co-opt Mr. Peter Tinney to the council. Mr. Tinney, you'd like to join?
Yes, I'm sorry I was away in hospital and we just didn't get round to confirming that I wanted to stand, but I'm more than pleased to stand.
Lovely. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, opposed?
Yeah.
Yeah, second. All those in favour? Lovely. Lindsay will get the forms to you. Have you done them or will you do them next time?
I've got them.
Lovely. Okay, item number 7, to confirm terms of reference for all committees. These are now on our website and also have been circulated to everybody. Is everybody happy with the terms of reference, that we adopt them as they are? Yeah. Lovely, thank you. Anyone, I'll propose it. Second, all in favour?
Run down to that stretch and show you the way to the sky.
Okay, to appoint members to serve on the under-mentioned committees, we've already done that. That's section 8. Point number 9, to appoint representatives on the under-mentioned bodies. Isle of Wedmore News.
Would like to be representatives, please.
Would they?
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay.
And what about Pete? Is Pete on it?
Pete, yes, are you on the Isle of Wedmore News?
Yes, is
you
another,
happy to
because obviously Glynis was a major part.
Yes.
Whether if she's going to continue, I mean, she's not on the council now.
No.
I mean,
Well, I think Isabel is happy to do it as well, so are you happy to stay on that as
yeah, I'm
representative?
happy to stay on the Isle of
Lovely,
Wedmore
okay.
News, yeah, but I just didn't know if,
Just in red.
because
I would pick it up.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Play areas. Yes, happy with that still? Yeah. Lovely. Sulk. We did discuss that maybe, Lindsay, you could just be the representative on Sulk, because you get all the emails anyway, and you forward them on. Are you happy with that?
I'm happy to do that.
Okay, lovely, thank you very much. Village halls. We have Wedmore Village Hall. Alistair, are you happy to stay?
Yep.
Lovely, thank you. Pete, are you happy to stay as Blackford
Yes.
Village?
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you. And Sean is Theo?
Sure, that's fine.
Lovely,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Playing fields. I am already on that. Would anyone else like to join me on that? James, lovely. Thank you very much. And the Twinning Association, Judy, that's you. Are you happy?
Yep.
Lovely, thank you very much.
Can I ask a question, please?
Yes, you can.
We've got 6 different bodies here. Is there any, what's the justification for having those and not others, or having those in the first place? Are there others that should
Legacy.
have done there?
Legacy.
Legacy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think there should be others on?
Well, I was just wondering from the talk myself into it, Harvest Home and that sort of thing. They're big events in the village. I don't know whether they you know, in a way, it's no different to
Yeah.
the Twinning Association.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And I think having a voice that sits across it, you know,
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
the Harvest Home now is covering the street fair as well. So
Yeah.
I think you've
So-
just got yourself a
and
job.
Yeah.
I volunteer for it as well. Yeah. Okay.
Lovely, thank you. Sorry, the only one that's missing off there is the Green Wedmore. Sean, you already on?
No, I'm not a member of Green.
You're not?
Well, I'm not an
No.
acting member. I mean, I saw it stuff,
Okay.
and I know that obviously that was somebody else did that before.
Okay.
All I can do is ask them maybe to send anything that's relevant that just could be read out, unless there's somebody else that goes to the meeting.
Can I just suggest that we invite Green Wedmore to come along and tell us if they think there's something
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
for the next meeting.
On my, are there any other ones that we think should be part of it? I can't think of any off the top of my head, but
No. I mean, the Ale Festival, I guess, but they don't really have anything to do with, we get too
There
much
must be the
otherwise.
danger of having too
Yeah.
many.
Yeah.
Because there are other events, the Arts Festival,
Yeah,
so
yeah, of course.
yeah.
if they want to say something,
Yeah, or maybe if they want us to help in some way or another, they could present to
Yes,
us,
yeah,
Okay.
especially if they want people.
yes. Okay. Item number 10. To review and adopt appropriate standing orders and financial regulations. Lindsay has sent all those around to everybody. Is everybody happy with this? I know we reviewed these fairly recently, so I don't think there's any real amendment. Is everyone happy?
The only thing that I've been asked to read by the internal auditor is with relation to the funding of or gifting money to the church. I'll just read it. I confirm that I have completed the internal audit for 2021-22. In the course of the exercise, I note that in November 2021, the council awarded grants to 3 churches towards the cost of churchyard maintenance. The Local Government Act of 1984 prohibited parish councils from providing financial support for the property of the church. And in recent years, there has been considerable discussion as to whether this restriction has been overridden by newer legislation. The most recent edition of the Arnold Baker's Local Government Administration, commonly regarded as the Clerk's Bible, stated that support could be given under Local Government Act 1972. However, this guidance is still being looked at, and in circumstances until legal position is clarified, I would recommend that caution is exercised when considering such payments in future.
Is that the burial fund that we gave for £100?
Yes.
yeah, I'm surprised that we did pay, because I remember the church in Blackford applied, and Rob was quite forceful that they couldn't have it because of
Yeah.
the Act of 19 whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Just need to be
That's fine.
careful.
I was just asked to read it by the auditor, so I don't believe that since that point anything has been done, but it's just to bring to your attention.
Okay. So, can we propose the standing orders, please? And a seconder? And all those in favour? Thank you very much. And for the financial regulations, do we have a proposer? Isabel. And a seconder? Sean. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. Number 11 on the agenda, to review arrangements including legal agreements with other local authorities, not-for-profit bodies and businesses. Okay. Who's that be?
So I think this is speaking specifically about the leases that we currently hold, so that would be things like at the Scouts Hut, the village halls, whether you want to look at reviewing those over the coming months, or if you're happy to leave them as they stand. It would also consider possibly looking at the length of those leases and any sort of terminology you want changing or bringing up to date for the long-standing leases, things that might have changed in legislation, etc.
Okay. So we're not aware of anything that is currently changing legally, so does, yeah, as we, okay. Are we happy to propose? Will we keep them as they are? Yes. Second, Isabel, and all those in favour? Thank you. Number 12, to review representation on or work with external bodies and arrangements for reporting back.
Pardon? What's that mean?
Oh, I don't know who's going to answer.
Yeah, so
I
that's
think it means if we nominate somebody to go on some other body,
Oh,
they must come and tell us what they've found out.
oh, okay. Right.
and potentially, I guess, the district council, as Jackie said, as well. But are we happy with the arrangements? They come every month.
Yeah.
Nothing else to review. Okay, happy to propose? Yes. Second, Jack, Judy, all those in favour?
It's
Lovely.
our man.
Thank you. Number 13, to make arrangements with a view for the council becoming eligible to exercise the general power of competence in the future.
What's that mean?
Yeah.
It's with
Translate.
general power.
Lindsay, that's for you to qualify.
That is for me to qualify.
Have a stab, Liz. Have a stab.
So again, my understanding is that it is looking at the legal side to making sure that you act appropriately and properly whilst conducting meetings, and also outside of those meetings. If you're asked a question, you can either answer it to the best of your knowledge, but on the proviso that it is deferred to council if you need backup, and likewise that I will continue to advise you to make sure that you are acting legally and properly at any point.
So our code of conduct, our essential training, all of those things to make sure that we are up together with all of that,
Yeah.
and stay
And also the SALP,
our knowledge.
SALP prescription as well, to obviously make sure that we're getting the up-to-date advice.
Okay. We all undertake to do that. Yes, lovely.
So is my understanding that is that until you're qualified, you can't do that.
Yeah, so I can, I can do it,
Yeah.
but it was discussed at interview that basically I will go ahead and do the qualification straight away so that I'm able to do it, and it's from the beginning, if that makes
Because I
sense.
think one of the things that surprised me on the course I did was that, in fact, we can decide to do something, but the only person who can sign the legal document is
Useful clerk.
Yeah.
yes, which I just don't really thought of it.
No, I know. I have no power except a signature, but no, that is that's correct.
Yeah,
So
okay.
that is the intention is that I will go on and do both the ILCA, the FILCA, and the SILCA, so that I will be fully qualified clerk
Yes.
and able to guide you legally.
And even the longer business card.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would like a stash.
Okay, lovely. Number 14, to review inventory of land and other assets, including buildings and office equipment. That has been circulated to everybody.
I've got lots of questions on it, but I think it's probably not best to bring them up here because it would take too long, and also my printer's rubbish.
It
It needs to be reviewed.
It is under
Yeah,
review.
it is under
We
review.
have started the review. Jackie and I started the review last year. It is ongoing. So are we happy to adopt it as it is, with the proviso that it will be reviewed within the next 6 months at least?
Yes.
Okay. Proposed, Jackie. Seconded, Alistair. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you. Number 15, to confirm the arrangements for insurance cover in respect of all insurable
Sorry,
risks.
just before you close on that, you
Yes.
said reviewed in the next 6 months. Is there a cut-off for having that in place, or is it now? Or is
we-
it when
we can
insurance is
review
paid,
it.
or
So we can review it.
Yeah.
At any time.
Yeah.
at any
It's,
time, right?
yeah.
But there isn't a need to have it done by a certain point in time?
No.
No, okay, that's fine.
Because actually that will be updated as we go on, so when we look at the crossbar and play equipment,
Yeah,
things will need
it
to be
changes,
added,
yeah.
things will be taken away,
Yeah.
so
So it's
it's a
constantly
working
reviewed.
document.
Yeah, that's fine, sorry.
Okay. And number 15, to confirm the arrangements for insurance cover in respect of all insurable risks. That document has been circulated. There are a few queries on it. Mainly, there is no current value for the play equipment. So again, we will review that because obviously we now have more play equipment coming to us from the new play areas.
So That's where this sits nicely alongside the one before, doesn't it?
Yeah. So it does need to be reviewed, there does need to be a value in it. Lindsay has spoken to the insurers, I believe.
Yeah. And they are happy for us to make amendments at any point. So the cover will automatically roll over from the 1st of June, but at any point we can make amendments. So once we've updated the asset register, we can adjust the cover accordingly.
Is everyone happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody like to propose that? Lovely. Seconder? Lovely. And all those in favour? Thank you very much. Number 16, to review the council's and or staff subscriptions to other bodies. Lindsay.
Okay. So again, it's been a bit of investigative work, trying to figure out a lot of the subscriptions run over different courses during the year. The ones that I've found that we are committed to so far is the SLCC, which is £185 annually. So that is the South West Councils group. The National Allotment Society, which we pay £67 a year for. The Somerset Playing Field Association, again it's £15 a year. The ICO, which has been raised previously about the data protection fee, we pay £35 a year for, which is actually due for renewal shortly. SALC, yes, we do have a membership, but I can't find any details at the moment of when that renews. We also currently have WallGuard Internet Security, which we pay an extra premium for, which I think is only on the desktop computer, which actually runs out in August. So, I mean, it's built into this one. You may need to look at that. And then you've got NetWise, which is the hosting of the website and all the email addresses, which is £460 a year. But again, I think that is probably a working document. As I find more things that crop up, I can.
We also have Scribe, don't we?
Yes, we've got Scribe, which we've just taken out.
So we do have subscriptions.
Have you got Office Tools subscriptions?
Yeah.
We pay parity copiers, yeah, but it's like a rental agreement, which we're not sort of, we can, if I rang them tomorrow, they would come and collect. It's
no, I meant for
sorry.
Microsoft Word and that sort of thing.
Microsoft Word.
So you pay a
yes, so it's all covered within our, so it's now covered
the
within our Zen computer servicing and listing, rather than separate to Microsoft or anything.
Okay. Everyone happy to continue with those subscriptions, memberships? It will be reviewed, so...
Can you suggest that those go on as a sort of sheet 2 of the asset register?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. We're going to change the format again.
Yeah.
Because it's like an ownership and commitment, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever known memberships and subscriptions before, so that's why I thought it was important to put that, to make sure that was clear. To review the council's body for dealing with the press and media, again that is a policy that has been recently added to the website, that we all adopted end of last year, I think. Don't think anything has changed with regard to that. Is everybody happy to adopt that? Yeah. Can we have a proposer and a seconder, please? Jackie, Sean, all those in favour? Lovely, thank you very much. Number 18, to review the council's employment and procedures. Again, it's another policy that we've recently done.
We've tested it as well, haven't
we? We have tested it, it worked.
Yes.
We're not going to test it again for a while, are we, Lindsay?
No. No.
Lovely. Is everyone happy to keep that policy? Proposer, Andy, seconder, Alistair. All those in favour? Lovely, thank you. Number 19, to review the council's expenditure incurred under section 137 of the Local Government Act 1972 or the general power of competence. Over to you, Mrs. Baker.
Okay. So the section 137 is basically the money which is allocated as spent to benefit the community, which is not spent under any other
Heading.
So this would be things like where we purchase the Christmas trees for the borough and also the remembrance wreath. Last year the figure was around £430. That included the Christmas trees and the wreath. The only question that was raised, because I looked back the year previous as well to check any differences, and at the end of 2020 there was a donation, or there was a fee paid to servicing for the defib machine. So I said that I would take a look at who's currently managing that, and if that is an annual thing, or who's looking at that.
I think it gets passed around, doesn't it?
What, the maintenance of it?
Oh, not the maintenance, no, the paying for it.
Oh, the paying for it. Oh, okay. Who might know about that then, Judy?
Rolled, I expect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are these ones that that we have acquired, or because we've paid for one under a grant scheme?
That was the one in Field, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
But there's two in the village here, and
Yeah.
I assume there's one in Blackford as well.
Yes, there's one at Sexis as well.
I think it's quite key because it's one of those things that it needs to be paid for and kept up to date. You know, there's no question of that.
Exactly.
And we don't want another group sort of taking it on and
Yeah,
not.
no, I'm just
No.
querying whether we did them all.
No, that's what I'm wondering as well.
No, I don't think
Okay.
we do. It's just
I think certainly the grant for Seal, it was on the basis that that was a one-off, the main thing, the maintenance.
Might be a silly question. Does Sophie know who's responsible for it?
Yeah, maybe.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, that we will look at that. Defib,
Can that go on the asset register as well? If it is a asset.
only if we bought it.
I mean, yeah.
No, we didn't.
Or responsibility for.
No, we didn't.
We just paid to maintain it.
Yeah.
Okay. Is everyone happy with those payments?
Yeah.
Lovely, thank you very much. Number 20, to determine the time and place of the ordinary meetings of council up to and including the next annual meeting of council. So our standing orders say that they will be on the third Wednesday of every month. Is everyone happy with that, that we stay with it?
Yeah.
Can we have a proposer and a seconder, please? Proposer and seconder, Alistair and Judy. All those in favour? Lovely, unanimous, thank you.
Can I just ask when the next one is, the assembly?
Assembly.
Is it next Wednesday?
Hopefully.
We are hopeful that it will take place next Wednesday.
Right.
We are waiting to confirm the venue.
Okay.
Once the venue is confirmed, obviously the agenda will go out, but at the moment...
The lady's on holiday.
Okay.
Number 21, to agree the chairman and clerk can sign the annual accounts for the financial year 21-22.
Yes.
Do we have a proposer and a seconder? Proposer and seconder, Judy and Isabel.
Thank you very much. Just doing this bits here, please. Thank you very much.
Got it?
That's it.
Lovely. Number 22, identification of such business which by reason of special circumstances is, in the opinion of the chairman, urgent and required to be transacted. Well, as a new chair,
You say no.
I have nothing to bring to the table on that one this month, but moving on. Number 23, issues and questions raised by councillors. We'll go around the room. Jackie? No? Alistair?
Yes, the work in the car park and the closure
Oh,
of
yes.
David Cox inquired when they were likely to finish, so I got the contractor to state a date, and he said by the end of this week or early next. So at that point the barrier will be, well, that entry will be restored.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Thanks for your work on that, Alistair. Judy?
No.
Andy? Pete? Anything to say? Sean?
Yes, just the have your say meeting, which was going to happen. Is that just been suspended until something happens?
Yes.
We
We
want
had to find out who
It
was
looks
going
great,
to be
doesn't it?
sitting.
Yeah.
The doctor surgery has now got their meeting on the 27th and 28th of May.
Next week.
So yes, that will be something that we will look at doing in the future.
Great.
Definitely.
Sorry, Madam Chairman,
Yeah.
I was going to, if, I don't know what the agenda will be at the sort of end, if there will be comments or whatever by the, invited by the chairman to the council. But I'm just concerned about the wood situation, and I don't know who, and I ought to know, but I don't know who is responsible for the, what they call the, well, the, Lascott Hill.
Oh yes.
There's been a lot of timber debris coming over, and I just wondered who is, I mean, I picked up a log, you know, I mean, all right, I don't think it was going to cause a lot of damage, but it would certainly to cyclists or a motorcycle.
Come onto the road.
They just come off the, and I just know who is supposed, are we responsible for
I
those?
don't know. There's a sign
No,
up there for
that's-
Sedgemoor, isn't there? Sedgemoor Council.
Yeah.
But I
Question of who owns Lascott Woods, anyone know?
For some reason I thought it was Tom Tingle, but
Well, I think the border is, but I'm not, you know.
does he own, he owns the field, but does he own the wood as well?
Well, I don't know, and I've been on the council since I was 6, but I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know who it belongs to, and it's not at the moment, it's not you know, it's just the fact that if there was a couple of really big branches came off, I don't mean huge, but
Yes.
they were big around in my arm,
Yeah.
and you know, there's a lot of dieback, it's not just ash, there's
Yes.
others. And I just wondered, because I just happened lately to see them, have we any reliability for that at all? We don't.
Only if we own it.
Only if we
No,
own it.
that's fair enough.
We don't. I think
That's
Green
fair enough.
Redwater tries to do some work in there, and I think Tinkton's name was mentioned in resistance to chemical loss. So I think it's Tinkton.
Okay.
I think so.
No,
Okay.
My assumption was because they got the field beside it, so yeah.
Could we just, when we took our thing in the Isle of Rebel News, could we just mention about putting hedges back? Because I walked down the borough along the far side yesterday, and it's quite difficult to walk down there without getting a face full of hedge.
Or a place of a car, yes.
but you can't trim them until September the 27th,
You
can
can.
you?
I think as it's a hedge along a roadside by pavement, I think.
Right.
I think-
Well, no, that's fair enough.
I think for home hedges you can do whatever.
For home hedges you can do.
You can,
It's
can
not
you?
it's not a farm
Fair
hedge, it's a
enough.
garden hedge.
And it's general in my corner.
Yeah. So just a little something when you do your Rebel or something.
As a reminder.
Yes, a little note, a little bit of notation.
Yes.
James?
No.
No. Isabel?
Yes, unfortunately we have a bit of additional cost to our Jubilee tables. When we went to order them, it was an extra cost for the platinum disc itself. It was an extra £100 per table. And then to get it presented by Wedmore Parish Council was an extra £90, but we knocked them down to £40. So we did
well done.
per table, so we did get a wee bit of a discount. But I just wanted to bring it up that we had to spend the extra money to order them up.
Okay.
And they might be here for the actual Jubilee
Brilliant.
street corner.
We're hopeful, we're waiting for a
Yeah.
delivery date. That's great.
Brilliant. Thank you, Isabel, for that. So we're on number 24. Item number 24, matters arising. Has anyone got any matters arising? No?
I'd just like it, sorry, just noted that it's the playing fields meeting Monday the 23rd.
That'll come into the next bit.
Did we discuss the response to the letter formally for the scaffold?
No, we haven't, because that was going to be deferred to the next meeting.
Okay.
but we will discuss that and it will go on the agenda for the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay. Master Rising. So, Matt, I'm sorry it's taken so long, but because it's an annual meeting, then you don't actually appear on it. So,
No, that's fine, I've got nothing to say.
welcome. We look forward to working with you in the future, and congratulations on your new role.
Thank you very much indeed. I look forward to seeing you very frequently. I live over in West Hay, so only over the road there.
Lovely. Thank you.
Is the situation that you're west of these King Alfred Ward and the other person elected covers elsewhere, or you sharing it?
Well, we're sharing it, yes.
Yeah.
It's myself and Harry Lunt.
Yes, I
So
know.
we take the whole area, and it's an entirely new situation. I've looked all over the place for hints and tips, but nobody seems to know how it should work.
That's all right, it's a blank sheet for you to start with.
Yes.
I only mention it because I usually end up with fairly frequent conversations with our previous county councillor on highway matters. It would be better that it's one of you, or not both of you, because otherwise it's going to get very confusing, I think, who's in what to who.
Yeah, that's fine. Pencil me in.
Yeah, but, yeah, okay.
I'm interested in highways as well.
Opportunity there.
I think everybody is.
Lovely, thank you. Trevor, is there anything you wish to say?
Oh, no.
No?
Thank you, Chair.
You're just here.
Congratulations on your post.
Oh, thank you very much. Lovely, thank you. So, committee reports, correspondence. So I think the only meeting that's been held since the last meeting was the planning.
Yes.
Is that right? As the cemetery has a new person, there's nothing going on at
all very
the
quiet,
cemetery.
I would just say at that point, actually, on Glen's behalf, the works has been carried out to the gateway as previously agreed. So the drainage, the new drain has been put in, and the gully. So we're hopeful that that is going to resolve the blockage issues there.
Yeah. Okay.
Lovely, thank you. Facilities allotments and footpaths, Judy and Sean.
Shall I go first? We are in the process of sending out emails or letters to allotment holders to say that we're going to be doing an inspection in a month's time, to give them fair warning that we're coming, which we thought was a good idea. What else have we done?
Got a meeting coming up.
Oh yes, got a meeting coming up.
We'll help each other, Judy, it's fine.
Yeah, thank you. My brain's gone blank. And that's about it, I think.
Lovely, thank you. Finance and general purposes. Sorry? Oh yes, footpath. Sorry.
Nothing.
Sorry, Sean.
That's all right.
I'll get used to this. Finance. As the current members of finance, is there anything to report?
First of June is our next meeting.
Yep, there will be a meeting. I am actually on holiday, I'm afraid, because that's been booked for a while. So, I know, sorry. Half term. Would one of you be happy to chair that in my absence? Jackie, maybe, as vice chair?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Could we have a suggestion that maybe we have the planning meeting that night as well and then get it over, because we have to have the planning meeting before the 5th of June.
Makes sense.
So what date is that going to be?
1st of June.
1st of June.
Can I give my apologies to that now then?
Are the regular meetings of the finance committee? I don't recall that.
They're going to be more regular.
Oh, I see.
There's only two. There's
only
one
two.
6 months apart, so that was part of the review that we did last year, saying that it should be on 1st of June and the something of December.
Oh, I think it's on the 5th of June, I can't remember.
No, it wouldn't be the 5th, because that's
No, it's
the
first.
First. Even less likely to make that, actually. My son's getting married in Tuscany that day.
Oh.
I don't think that will.
Yeah.
Your dedication is as bad as mine.
I'll tell them carrying bags for you.
Housing, there's nothing to report. Highways, car park and brook, Alistair?
Well, we haven't had a meeting recently. We were waiting for the Have You Say event to really try and work through the priorities that we've established to see, we can't do them all. The question is, which ones do our parishioners feel is the most important? The Cheddar Road keeps bubbling up, and it's been a bit unfortunate in several ways, but the district area transport manager for this district has had a look at the signage, which was causing some concern. There's one 30-mile-an-hour repeater which is not quite in a good position. A suggestion's been made by local residents, and in discussion with the policeman who was doing the speed check, and so Ailey's going to have a look at that to see if we can sort of satisfy that particular issue. The other thing she's going to look at is we still haven't got all the positions for the speed indicator devices sorted, so I've been pushing them quite hard to say, really it is, after a year it really is time to get that done. So with David Curley going, there was a sort of three-man team, we're now down to two, so we may be looking for some step. And I think that's probably about it. I've mentioned the car park.
The SID at the bottom of St Medyards, sort of, is that...
Sorry, the SID where?
At the bottom of St Medyards, on
yes.
Buckhorn Street. Is that working?
It probably isn't at the moment, because I have to lug a battery out there and...
No, I don't mean work. I mean, is it working as in reducing... Have you got any data from there?
It's been a disappointment, and the disappointment's an older one, which is that most cars creep through there at less than 30 miles an hour, so the lights don't flash up. People think it doesn't work.
Yeah.
We will leave it a little bit longer and then look at the data and see. But the intention is to move them around anyway, because that's part of the psychology of this, to spring up in different places. I don't know whether you feel the one in Thiel has had any lasting effect here.
It's hard to say really, but I know that Louisa, who's very close to it, says that she thought it might be better to go the other way, actually facing towards Wetmore. But you said there was it doesn't give a number, but there's a sensor on the other side. Is that correct?
The new device actually measures the traffic in both directions.
Right.
So although you're approaching it and you can get a signal saying 35 miles an hour, slow down, if you're going the other way at 40 miles an hour, it still clocks it.
Right.
The theory we've been using, and it's open to discussion, but basically we've tried to position them where you're coming into the place, rather than going out, because there's a lot of people who said when we go to the one on Matchley Road that people roar out that way, but I'm much more concerned of slowing them down to come into this is a signal that you're reaching a place and you should be slowing down.
It's very sensitive. I mean, I thought it was on the wrong side of the crossroads, but as soon as you come over the brow, it's clocking it up there rather than in front of the...
That's the good thing about it. That device can spot you 250 metres away. It's finding a road 250 metres straight.
20 miles an hour on my push bike, actually.
You go faster stripes.
It's good to know that you've tried to up your rate of speeding just to impress the device.
Alistair, is there a position out on the Wells Road?
On
the Wells Road?
Yeah, there's one which won't be far from you. When you go over the top, go up Coombatch and down on the other side, on the right hand side there's a big sign by a gate on the south side. So it was originally agreed that sign would be adjusted, but when Aileen and I visited more recently, she's decided there should be just a freestanding post near the gateway, and that will be again facing towards Thiel to catch people coming into Wetmore as they go up the hill. Last.
I didn't realise
the accelerate going out is quite hard.
I didn't realise that you actually changed the batteries. I think you should minute it and thank Alistair was lugging batteries around and doing all that. I thought it was a company that did that.
No, so if you go past it, there's just a red light in the bottom right corner.
Yes, that's what Alistair told me.
Actually, it's a contract where I've just written and I should send it over short.
Excellent.
Is that to be reviewed at the next meeting?
I think, yeah, because John Woodford, who's a volunteer, is doing this, he is essential to this operation because he can do one thing I can't do, which is to deal with the IT. So he downloads that. So at the moment he is changing the battery on the one at the field, and I've been doing the one which is almost outside my house. So it's.
We should actually do a vote of thanks to John.
Yeah.
The battery, the lead acid batteries.
Oh, are they?
Yes, yes.
It's old school now.
Yes, yes. Because the one Dr. drank us out. The one you every car it lights up. So you know it's obviously they last 10 days to 2 weeks, and then we have to change one.
Doesn't sound much.
No.
I think the one, Madam Chairman, at Blackford has worked very well.
Yes.
There was an awful fatality
Yes.
on that hill, but it's noticeable, and I can't drive now because I've become bad heart. But the times I came through, and Margaret and I drove through it today, and it seems to, it's just, I think, the display. I know it's a lot of white and and a lot of superstructure, whatever you want to call it, but it has down over that hill. I mean, that always was a little bit of a, whichever way you were coming, you revved up to go on the mark, and but it has seemingly, very rarely do you follow traffic or oncoming traffic that isn't slowing down over Poolbridge Hill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame. When I say a shame, that's not very well put, but it's awful that it should cause a fatality to get. But I imagine some of the stuff that is, some of the precautionary stuff that is put out has possibly been done privately.
Yeah, those two are private.
I imagine it would be, yeah, but it has made a real difference.
Okay. Last committee to report is planning.
Yes, our next meeting is now going to be the 1st of June.
Lovely.
What time will that be on?
7:30.
7:30.
But it's
Oh,
after
we've got
the
the-
finance.
After
Okay.
finance.
Finance
Yes.
meeting.
No,
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Lovely, thank you. Reports from representatives on committees. I'm guessing this is going to be pretty short as well because some people aren't here. Isle of Wedmore News. Do you have anything to report from that? Because I know they had a meeting here.
Yes, they did. Pete also attended.
Oh,
Pete.
I'm on
But no, Glenys was just saying that she was happy to continue as chair. On the Isle of Wedmore News Committee, they reported that they've changed the printer for the books, which has resulted in a slight alteration of the spine shape, and thus the weight of the books are considerably heavier. So there was some logistical conversations around that, and also they were looking at getting a new distributor for Bagley, but Glenys said that they have now recruited someone, so hopefully that will be fine.
lovely. Thank you. Play areas.
We have a meeting on Monday. We've had 3 quotes for new play equipment on Cross Farm site, which we're going to look at and discuss. Report again next meeting.
Lovely. Thank you. Sulk. Everything's been forwarded.
Everything's been forwarded.
I have training coming up when I'm on holiday.
Would anybody,
Dedicated.
does anybody else want to undertake any of the training? We've rescheduled yours, I think, haven't we, Andrew?
Rescheduled one I missed as well.
Yeah. Anybody else?
I think
Yeah,
there's a
I'll
couple.
have a look at the date.
James is
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to pick up a couple of dates, Lindsay, because I think there's other dates on the way as well.
James, have you got the Sulk login details?
No, I don't think so.
Well, Lindsay, who has the power, will let you know.
Yeah, I will let you know that.
Clark Power.
What are the Sulk login details?
Oh, do you not have them either?
I'll give them to you privately so they're not available
Yeah.
to you in the community.
I don't think I've got them.
Do you want to circulate
Just on, sorry, on the circulation of, are we only using Parish Council emails now?
Yes.
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 It is difficult.
Yeah.
Are they not working?
Well, no, so you had to contact somewhere else. They email you to your personal one. You want to reply.
Okay.
We'll just forward it to your
I know, it's just
I
a
know,
just
I
a
know
fill.
that, but I've done it a few times and then you just respond from your
Yeah.
It works on your phone right that way.
You're not
I'm
getting
using
my
computers.
emails.
I do need some help actually.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
I wonder if
I
we should
tried
have
twice
an
and
IT.
I just couldn't get it to work.
Have a IT session.
Okay.
I couldn't get it to work on my phone.
Well, what if we have like a drop-in session one morning?
Yeah.
And you and I will sit here and... Okay, date to be confirmed on that, but I will let you know.
That's
I'm
good.
quite happy to
Okay.
help out now if you want it for maraine, because
Yes, please.
I got it works straight away from being.
Yeah, okay.
Can you send it on my old email because I haven't got it.
I can't remember how I did it, but it was
When your Playing Fields Management Committee, we've got a meeting on Monday. Yeah. Village Halls, Alistair Redmore.
The village hall's going great guns now. You know, a good set of bookings. The Arts Festival had its festival last week, which was very well attended. The village hall facilities have been upgraded during the lockdown with all the government money coming in. So really, things are going very well.
Lovely. Pete?
Yeah, Blackford is up and running well. Hasn't quite come back up to before COVID, but it's still, yes, it's very well used and very well managed by, well, or the caretaker. Just incredible man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lovely.
yeah, it's fine.
Great. And Sean?
There'll probably be some information coming through about updating the lease from Lisa, the new chair. She's still ironing out the very tiny details within that. So as soon as that's realised, we hope to get a 64-year lease.
Great.
And on the obtaining that lease means we can then be bequeathed a building and land by a generous member of the public.
Lovely.
Don't forget you've got Green Man on Friday.
Oh, sorry, of course, there's an impromptu Green Man on Friday. Thank you.
Always worth going to.
Yes.
Lovely.
One fits the lot.
Perfect. Twinning, Judy.
I haven't heard anything from them for absolutely ages. I think I've probably dropped off their email list again.
Is it worth chasing that up then?
So the twinning this year are going to France. There's only about 4 or 5 people going, I think. It's just, everyone's been locked down and suddenly it's like, do you want to spend your week's holiday with your friends in France, or do you want to spend your week's holiday really doing what you want to do? And I think it's the latter. So they were wondering whether it was going to be cancelled this year, but they're going ahead. Benoit, the chair over there, is proceeding with it. So
Are you to do with the twinning?
my wife, well no we're not, we're on twinning, so we have a family, we host a family. So.
Okay.
Do you want me to...
Would you mention to them that I seem to not get any emails now?
Right, well...
Or you could be the rep if you're going anyway.
Yeah, you can.
I can be if you like, because there's nothing... Because if you
Second
don't,
If you're going
I mean, I know what's going on with
I
it.
know,
more
so
than, yeah.
Yeah.
just tell them everybody.
Well, they just seem to keep forgetting to email.
Oh, right.
So
Yeah, well, the chair's changed because Cameron's gone, isn't it? So
Well, it does make sense that the person who's
Yeah.
involved in it,
maybe it's all fallen
Reports
off the
on
edge.
it,
But if you want to be
Yeah.
part of it still, then I'm sure they could.
not trying to degrade you in the future.
no, yeah, over to you. If you're part of something to do with it, that would be
Well,
great.
just, a family that has families over. That
Yeah.
We tend to know what's going on.
Yeah.
The family that come over to us is the chair over on their side.
Great.
Sounds sensible.
Lovely. Thank you for that. Green Wedmore. There's nobody here, is there, that knows anything about Green?
I did just before this meeting attend a meeting arranged by David Cox and Steve News. Also attended was Liz Burton and they were just basically pleading that the Parish Council still, you know, have regular communication with them, and also would obviously put a cry out for any involvement that we can offer. They were just really on the projects that they've got going forward, so they're still looking at the Pilgrim Street project, and obviously they were telling me about the solar farm, and yeah, just in general, Worthington Woods. We've got the food trail coming up in July, so they've asked Will to make sure that the grounds are kept well for that. It's a 2-week event, I think the 16th.
Yeah, they've got a work party at Taylorwood this weekend.
Yes.
So lots going on.
Lots going on.
I've seen a newsletter that they seem to have produced, which is very
Yeah, I
lengthy.
get that as well.
Yes.
Is it worth sending you a copy you can circulate to everybody? It was sent
It's on
the
Facebook.
doc-
It was put on Facebook.
Oh, was that
on
was
their
that the
Facebook
60
page.
pages?
63
A lot of
pages.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
get that.
No, I don't think it's about that. But it's been sent to the surgery team,
Okay.
just for
Worthington
information.
Woods one, no, well, there's a 63-page document as well for Worthington Woods.
I did say to Steve that I would go back to him tomorrow with who's been elected chair and vice,
Right.
so I can request that we get that information sent over as well.
Well, it should. I think Steve Hughes had sent it just as we were having to look at that site for the potential surgery. Not that they were very keen on the idea, but what it did do for me was there's 2 things that cropped up today. I had a look at that, and then the other thing I noticed in the asset register that the land is worth £160,000 apparently, and we don't have an agreement with the party that is occupying it, which seems to be well,
It'll be reviewed, honestly.
I
Yes.
think it has to be, because otherwise we end up with a situation, if they're there long enough, we can't get them all.
That's it, yeah,
Yeah.
the squatters' rights.
I think the other thing to point out is that I think there was a feeling that it was perhaps the idea to put the surgery down there was our idea, but as far as I'm aware, it was nothing to do with the Parish Council, it was
a
somebody
member of the
else's.
public.
Yes, it's a
Yeah.
member of the public's idea, and I think that should be made clear.
Mm.
It's not our idea.
It was put forward by a person who happens to be very highly knowledgeable about planning matters,
Right.
a planning inspector in fact.
Okay.
So when it was put forward to detract from the site that we had chosen, it was not one you could ignore, because once we get in front of the planning committee, who are they going to listen to?
But the history of that site, as I believe it, as I've heard all the time since I've been here, is that that site was not deemed suitable for housing, and that's why it was left. It wasn't deemed suitable for housing. So if it's not suitable for housing, I don't think it would be suitable for surgery.
It's got a huge attenuation tank, it's massive.
Exactly.
It is fraught with problems,
Yes.
because you've got overhead high-powered cables,
Yes, yes.
you've got the connection between the sewage works and the brook,
Okay.
2 pipes there,
Yeah,
you've got the attenuation tank.
yes.
These are things that we're just recording, because of
Yes.
course we haven't made a decision yet.
No.
And that's what next weekend's about, to help.
Yeah, it is. That is partly what it's about, well, all we can do is to try and make it look as if we hadn't decided already, because that's the real tricky bit.
Lovely. Okay, thank you for that. Number 27, matters to report items for the next meeting. Scout Hunt. If you're on the next meeting,
Need to review the camera stuff, IR
Yeah.
camera stuff.
yes, that's on the next meeting as well.
Thermology.
Yes. Anything else?
If it's an item for decision, I was going to say I can update on the have your say for the surgery,
Yes.
but I doubt that I shall be bringing a paper that needs a decision.
What date's the next meeting, please?
Third Wednesday in the month.
Which is going to be the...
15th.
Oh,
Do you want to defer it again?
yes, please.
So the only item left is number 28 for all councillors to sign the acceptance of office register, as we are all now new councillors again.
Oh, I haven't got a pencil.
I have
Can't
also
do it, pencil.
actually got because you will all need to fill in your forms, which will need to be sent away. So your declaration of acceptance of office, which has got your register of members' interests. Most of you would have done those before.
Yeah.
James possibly won't have done. So happy to go through any of that. And yeah, you're welcome to either bring them back and I can send them all in one. It's not the same as when you had to go down before. So that has got one.
Thank you.
That's got one.
Babs, can I ask, are we going to try and let the community know that we're short of councillors somewhere?
Yes.
How are we going to do that? Or?
We are going, well, it's up for discussion. We could put maybe some posters on the village hall, what else did we say?
On the Webmore
Revenue.
Parish website, Parish
Oh, that
notice
sounds
board.
good, yeah.
So we'll try and do that.
And we do Facebook maybe
Yeah,
as well.
Facebook. Could we put a poster up next week, Alistair, in your, if I can get one sorted before then, at your doctor's
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
thing?
Yes, indeed.
Actively recruit.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty comprehensive, yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
If anyone has any other ideas.
Once the poster's done, maybe that would be a nice document to put on, or a photograph of it to put on Facebook, that it's nice
Yes.
and
Yeah.
professional.
Right, catchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose I should be saying that I'm encouraging all councillors to come to this thing in
Yes.
the surgery because for those who haven't heard me say this before, the planning committee need to be sure that Webmore people actually support the idea. The fact that I've never spoken to anybody who's against it yet doesn't count in evidence terms with any planning officer. You've got to have evidence, which means getting people to sign it to paper or write notes on post-it notes or whatever. So we need, that's one of the things, we need to show that there is support for it, and then we need comments on the 3 sites that have been identified and various other aspects of it. But the main people who are there there will be representatives of the doctor's practice there, and there will be members of the team of which I've become one. But we have an architect, we have a planner, those sort of people to be able to sort of go through in more detail if people really want to.
Alistair, what, I've got 27, 28, what time is it?
It's something like
It's in the Webmore News, isn't it?
it's in the Webmore.
Yeah, I'll look it up.
Have we got, is there a poster or something for that we could put on our Facebook and web page to try and encourage people to come along?
Well, it's in the Webmore News. It is.
It's already been on the Webmore Office site.
Has it? And the,
Webmore Past Present.
okay, so let's try and find that and put that back on.
Yeah, put it on to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pete's not in there yet. Official meeting.
Make sure you get your pen back. It's not.
In the dreaded Zoom days, I was prevented from attending a Zoom council meeting because I couldn't sign the register by Zoom.
Yes.
So I missed 2 meetings just because I couldn't sign the register.
Took me months to get signed on the register.
So I looked today and it's actually 39 years ago to the day that my granddad joined the Parish Council. And now I'm signing the new councillors in.
Well, did you want
It all goes round.
No, Pete's not in there yet because I wasn't.
There we go.
I can do it now then.
Okay, lovely. So, Alistair sign. If that is all the business of this evening, I will close the meeting at 8:35. Thank you very much for attending, guys, and see you next month.
Well done, Babs, in your first one.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you very much. She says she can find